Hi, this is Teresa Ford, and I'm talking about how to create a comic page in Adobe Photoshop. This is going over the template, part 2. When we last left off, we were having issues with it not transforming, and turn it off, turn it on again, and it works again. So I'm hitting Command T to transform this particular watercolor, and I'm going to put it with a mind to where the bleed area is. Pull that in a little bit. All right, and in fact we can come back up and check it. Say where's my margin. These two little people are going to be a little bit hard to see, but I don't really care. And he's a little bit out into the margin, which is also, I don't particularly care unless I'm going to have that border showing. If I put that border back on, he's a little bit cut off, and we might want to change him around a little bit. So let's leave the border on for the sake of fun. We'll have him, I don't like the border. I'll change that. Back we go. All right, so we're again looking at the margins and the cutoff and the bleed area. Life is good. Seems to line up okay. Let's go fix the other ones. All right, so down here we have our second panel. And let's play transform this a little bit. Here we go. Bring it in, bring it up. If I hold the shift key down, it doesn't constrain the ratio, and so I can free transform it a bit better. Now this is kind of going off into the margin a little bit. Let's see, let me pull it over a little bit so we're not hiding into the gutter too badly. All right, and in fact I might even want to turn it. Okay, now then the horizon's crooked. Water, it rolls right off because for some reason the horizon is crooked. I had many photos that were crooked. All right, and let's go look at this last one here. Come down, and I'm actually okay with a white area there. All right, and if I wasn't okay with that, I could duplicate that layer, put it in here, bring it down a little bit like that, line it up, you make it a little bigger, merges right like so, and then I can use a mask on the top layer. And a mask, you have black conceals, white reveals. Take my brush, take a little soft fuzzy brush with black, hit the X key to change out what color, and let's just make it look like it's all one image here. There we go. And whoop, there's a guy. We don't want him there, right there. So we'll leave that. Make that go away. So blends. And I think I'll just make that go away a different way. So now I'm just looking at the bottom here. There we go. And then we got to take this piece, add a mask to it. On my brush tool, and I want none of the top of this. Okay, that's on that layer. There we go. All right, and it's not quite perfect, but hey, you guys are artists. You guys can figure this out easily enough. Let's see. Nope, it's not that layer. There it is, this layer. There we go. Something like that works. And then I got to get rid of this harsh edge right there. Ah, hitting the wrong keys. Why? Why does it do this to me? All right. There we go. Just over just the tiniest bit. There we go. All right. So something like that will get us closer. And I want my page number to be black again. So I would come back up here to my page numbers, dink, into the effects and say, get rid of that color overlay, back to straight black. There we are. All right, so we have an instant layout. So let's talk a little bit about the speech bubbles now. Let me go ahead and save this thus far. Speech bubbles can eat, your speech balloons can eat a lot of time. We now have some panels. If we're using our template, however, we have some super spiffy balloons. And there are a lot of balloon pieces in this template, and you can copy and drag and drop this entire balloon folder into your own Photoshop directory and have it already set up. What you will see here is that the balloons themselves are assembled the way we did in our earlier video, where the pieces are individual and the effects are sitting on the group. And, wrong button. Hate when I hit the wrong button, particularly when I'm doing a video. All right, so we have a balloon background. The balloon background is broken into basic shapes and arrows. Let's turn off our arrow for a second and just look at our basic shapes. We have some shapes that are round ovoids. We can pick the one that is closest to what we want. Or two. Note you can combine them because it's all merging together automatically anyway. All right, and these are all shapes. Well, technically they're now paths where, let's pick one. You pick the one that's closest to what you are looking for, and you can come over here and hit your edit. Whoop, we're on an oval. I'm going to turn off the back one. All right, and we can click on the piece that we want and stretch it and rearrange it and move it. And notice we didn't have to worry about creating all of the pieces that's already set up. All right, and so we can pick our balloon style. We have round ovoids. We have some flat ovals. There's a selection of those you can play with, and again, you can rearrange them if you find one you like. You basically get to the closest of the one that you want and then adjust it. So it takes a little bit of learning to figure out where the one you like is, but once you do, you just go poof and it's done. We have some distressed rectangles that are already created. And I'm not going to go through all of these, but again, these get as close as you like. Come over to your direct selection tool, and they have little points. In fact, let me zoom in on that so you can see it a little bit better. And you can adjust them and make it however you want. You can also combine these. So let me come back over here. Control J to copy the layer. Control T to convert it, like so. Hit the Enter key, and if I wanted to, I could add a mask. I am going somewhere with this. I'm going to make it reversed. All right, and so now, if you look at it, it does a mirror of itself a little bit. We can copy this. If I command click to select it, come up here, hit the mask tool, it creates the same mask, command I to invert the mask, and now it's a complete opposite and a nicely reflected distressed rectangle. All right, we also have some distressed ovoids if you want to work with an oval shape instead. We also have a selection of basic shapes because there are things that you want to do all the time, such as rectangles or a square, a rounded square maybe, or a rounded rectangle. And these are all editable too, so you can come into your little direct selection thing, click on your shape. You can highlight the pieces you want to move. I can use the arrow keys to move them around. Woo! So there are things you can do to them. They are all already set up and save you gobs of time doing other stuff. There's a septagon. So these are in here in case you want to play stretch your shapes around and stuff. There's an octagon in case you want a stop sign subliminally here. Hexagons. There's actually a banner in here too. Again, all editable, 100% usable. So you would be creating your background shape, and then let's go back to our original round ovoid shape here. All right, and then you want to have some arrows on that little shape for where it's coming from. And so I have the voice arrows are all pre-made, of which you can, again, edit these to make them look exactly like what you want. All right, we have thought bubbles. These are northwest for cardinal directions, clockwise and counterclockwise. So clockwise means it's rolling this way, and counterclockwise it's rolling the other direction. So you kind of get you into the right general location. And these, once you get to the right general location, you can move them around. Let's not do that. Move it around this way. Bloop. Control Z. You can also adjust the whole group as a whole. To make it exactly like you want. You can make it larger if you wanted to. You can basically adjust these to whatever you need it to be. And because all of the pieces are already made, it goes very, very quickly. There's also some connector pieces. So if you wanted to connect, Control Z. I don't know what that just did, but I don't want it. All right. We can, Control Z. Apparently I'm selecting the whole layer instead of just the shape that I wanted. All right, there we go. So I can connect some balloons. And because all of the pieces are individual and the effects are sitting on the group, it self-builds. So I could actually have another bubble entirely. So if I come down here to my backgrounds and add another round ovoid of another type, pink, I can move that ovoid over and have a second bubble. Bloop. Easy peasy. All right. So you can kind of see how that would work. Let's see. Let's turn off the backgrounds for a second. All right. We have other arrows going the other direction. We have some going straight out. Let's do the one to the west. There we go. And these are all editable. So again, you click your direct selection tool, your point selection tool, whatever you want to call it. Click on the piece. Helps if you zoom in. Come on. Oh, I asked it to do too much at once. Okay. Come on. Boy, it's unhappy with me. They are editable. Let me stop the video and come back with a restart.